Getting a perfect kick sound can be super hard, but it doesn't have to be. Let's have a look at it. Alright guys, welcome to another episode on my YouTube channel. I'm ReOrder and I'm a trance music producer. One thing that I always struggled with was making a perfect kick. I've been using samples, sample layering, sample tweaking, EQs, compressors, anything you can think of to make that kick pop in the mix. And then I realized that you can actually use Serum to create your own kick that sounds absolutely perfect. Today we're gonna have a look how to make a kick that is very similar to what Medusa does in their tracks. It's just a very nice warm kick sound with a very sharp click on top. So without any further ado, let's do this. How do we start? Well, kick is a sine wave. So when you think about a kick, it's basically the sine wave that starts with a very sharp pitch sound and then it goes down to your desired key. So it's sort of like a laser sound. So if you want to make the laser sound, just come over here into your analog basic shapes. This is the sine wave. We're going to put the randomness all the way down. And now if I come over here and assign this to the coarse pitch, let's change this to envelope so you can hear it. Turn off the BPM. Let's make it slower. You will hear it sort of like a laser sound. And that's what we want. But first thing we want to do is to have a very nice click to this kick. So we're going to start with the click. So what we're going to do, we're going to change this pitch envelope to go one way. You just hit Shift, Option, and click. Or you can actually do it over here in the matrix, the type, you send it one way. We're going to set the amount to, let's say, about 90 something. So we get like really high up on the pitch, something like this. Now we want to increase the rate all the way up to 100 Hertz. Now you can start hearing that click. Now, I don't want to bother you with like getting the shapes right, so I prepared the shapes that you can actually download for free. Just head over to readyformasterclass.com, download this preset and also the shapes that you can use. Just put them into your user preset folder. So now we're going to be working with the click, and here we have the click pitch. So I'm going to click that, and here we go. Now the second thing we want to do is to get rid of the sound that's coming after I hit it. I only want to hear the click. So I'm going to assign the LFO to the level. I'm going to put the level all the way down. Put the LFO to right there. Again, we're going to change it to envelope and turn off the BPM. This time, we're going to be loading the shape over here called click volume. And we just want to make the rate a little bit faster. The clicks just should be very fast. So somewhere around 29 would be just perfect. Here we go. So we have the click now. When the click is ready, we need to get the low end right. So let's use the oscillator B to create that low end. So turn on the oscillator B, and again we're going to go for analog and basic shapes, and we're going to be working with this one. So as usual, as we did before, we take the LFO3 and put it here over the coarse pitch. This time we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're not going to go to one way. I noticed that it's much easier to work with if you want to have a separate click and separate low end. If you just let it go both ways and do some different LFO settings. So first of all, let's put the randomness down because we want this to be just playing at the same time. Turn off the envelope, turn off the BPM, and we're going to be loading the kick body pitch. That's the one. I like this one really much. It sounds pretty cool. Already, like if you play like this, doesn't do anything, right? So let's hit that LFO to 3 and let's raise it up to about 60 something like this. Let's have a listen. Something's wrong. The thing that is actually wrong is that the pitch is going up. We want it to go down. So instead of 62, let's go minus 62. And there we go. We can hear the low end. I can actually put it a little bit louder so you can hear it. If your neighbors will come in and complain about their dishes jumping up and down, just tell them, listen, I'm just making amazing kicks. And also we want to play with the rate. We want this to be a little bit slower, so let's go down. But you can hear that we still have the low end that's coming after that. So again, we need to do the LFO for the volume. It's basically just another envelope. So we turn off the BPM again. Actually, we can keep it on 1/4, right? It's just a beat. And we're going to put this on the level. And we're just going to do it exactly like the one before. And again, we're going to load up this one, kick body volume. And now we just have one hit. So if I play together now with our click, sounds pretty cool, but the click is a little bit too loud. So let's come over here to the volume and put it down to about 25. So we have like a quarter of that. And that's actually now sounding much closer to the kick. By the way, guys, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you won't miss any future uploads. I'm gonna bring in the LFO tool so you can actually see how that kick looks like when it's playing. So let's put the depth down and let's have a look. So this is our kick, and this is our click on that kick. We still need to work around with the levels, so it actually sounds a little bit better. That click is maybe a little bit too low, or maybe the low end is just too loud. So let's come over here and turn this down. Let's just go down maybe to like 60 something. So about half as much as we have over here. That's more like it. If you don't want to wait till this kick is finished, you can straight away go to my Patreon, where I have a project that you can download there for free if you subscribed, and it also includes the bass line and the shaker and clap percussion for techno that you can use right away in your tracks. Now let's have a listen how it sounds in sort of a full track. I'm actually thinking we can put the rate a little bit lower here on the low end, just for a little bit more punch. That's much better. You can actually then play around with this rate, because it's just gonna make, especially this one over here, if I change this again to BPM and turn it off and put it to about 1/4, this is what we're gonna get. And then if you make it longer, which means you make the rate slower, you can make a longer kick. So I'm gonna put it back to that value that I liked, which was somewhere around 2.5. And then I'm gonna assign this modulation to this rate. So when I'm gonna raise this up, it's gonna go and make the kick a little bit faster. I'm gonna go for about -7. That should be just enough. Of course, you can play around with the envelope over here and just make it to your liking. If you want to have a little bit more tail. And there we go. Now I still think that click should be a little bit louder, so I'm gonna come over here and make that a little bit louder. So now we have the kick, but it still doesn't sound right. There's one little thing that we also want to do. You want to go to your FX section, turn on the distortion, and use the tube distortion. Now if I play it like this, it's gonna sound pretty cool. Almost like a, techno kick. So you can actually use this. But I only want this to affect the click. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the envelope 2 and assign it to the mix. We don't want to go all the way, maybe just about this much, and the drive can be just all the way up. Let's see. Ooh. Now I still need to work with this. So let's put a sustain down, and the decay, we want something super short, about like 48 milliseconds. You can do a little bit more or less. It's really up to you. And now you can see that click is now really loud. So I have two options. So either I put the level on the click down, or I can increase the low end. So I'm just going to increase the low end. That's a little bit too much. Let's play with that body. And I still think that this click is still too loud. So let's put it down. And now we have a very nice, stable, beautifully sounding kick. What's so great about this kick actually is, if you look at the Thump filter, for example, you can actually do this in normal EQ, and you look at it and you hold, it's gonna tell you what the key is. So this says it's A, but you can actually have a look at the normal EQ. Let's take the EQ 8, so you can do the same thing, just make it bigger. And my kick finishes somewhere here, which is now says, actually it also says A. So let's go with A, and A would be the key. So if I want to change the key of my kick, I can actually do it. I'm just going to move the semitones. And this way you can really tune your kick to your bass line. There are still many things that you can do with this. You can actually move the phase around, just to get a little bit better sound of the click, so they are more in phase. So you can hear that it changes. Also, we can move this one up. And you can see when I move the phase, the waveform is moving as well. So that's another tool how you can tune and put your kick and bass line more in phase, so they play nicely together. It took me pretty a long while to figure this preset out, but thanks to some amazing people on YouTube, I combined a couple of different techniques to create this, and I would have to say, it's one of the most nicest and warmest kicks I've ever done. Now, if you want to completely, again, fine-tune it, you can come here to the low end, and you can play with the rate, you can play with these little knobs, and just tune it in a way that you like it. So you can really get some really decent kicks. Oh yeah, man, this kick sounds so good. Woo! Nice. And that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell button so you won't miss any future uploads. If you want to join me on Patreon, please feel free to do so. It's for free. I also put out the free content for all my followers. And if you want occasional free videos from studio, free templates, sample packs, and presets, and sign up and be a part of our family. And that's really it. Thank you very much, and see you for the next one.